Right. For those of you that do not know me, I am Mark Herman, M-A-R-K. Herman is H-E-R-M-A-N. I am the constable with Harris County Precinct 4. After receiving numerous complaints of prostitution from citizens and business owners, Precinct 4 initiated an undercover sting operation out here in North Harris County to suppress the supply and demand for prostitution in and around businesses and neighborhoods where our families live. As we know, prostitution has been the catalyst for bringing additional criminal activity to Precinct 4, including but not limited to the trafficking of females. In this particular sting operation, it was about a 2-week operation. We actually ran it 4 days out of that 2 weeks. The beginning of the operation was mostly infrastructure and preparing for the operation. But in this particular operation, we ended up arresting 44 individuals. Out of the females that we arrested for prostitution, we have 4 that have basically made outcry they were being trafficked, and they were rescued. As you can see, we have not listed their names or anything about them or their photos. And in addition, we did arrest the 4 suspected pimps that were pimping them out on the streets. I can tell you that in this operation, we made a culmination of males that were actually doing the soliciting, that would solicit undercover constable deputies, and also there were also females that were actually working the streets of North Harris County. The area that we targeted was the FM 1960 corridor from Willowbrook Mall all the way across to Aldine Westville toward Humble, and we also hit the Interstate 45 corridor, several motels and shopping centers along that area. Again, we made, I think, a total of 38 prostitution cases, and then a couple of the folks that showed up, one of the pimps was carrying a gun. He tried to throw the gun out the window when they were being stopped. We filed on him for promotion of prostitution and tampering with evidence. Several had illegal narcotics. And but the main thing is we've got these folks off the road, whether it be the actual prostitutes themselves or the 4 that are alleged to be being human trafficked. And again, this operation is not the first one we've done out in Precinct 4. It won't be the last. We have commenced new operations along these lines and other patrol initiatives that we're working on now to better make our communities at Precinct 4 safe. I'll open it up to any questions or comments that you may have.
Mark, the allegations of human trafficking for these females, is that a common alibi to defense of prosecution?
Yeah, I'll tell you, we have an extreme vetting process that we work with our Harris County District Attorney on to ask specific questions, and these 4 met certain criteria and guidelines. I can tell you our DA has certain DAs that actually accept prostitution charges, and our investigators work closely with them to identify these folks. And in these particular cases, I know on the 4, they met the criteria of what we feel they're being trafficked.
Was part of that criteria underage?
I don't. What do you?
Part of the criteria you all did.
You can't be consensual. It's not consensual if you're younger than 17 or.
Yeah, well, there was no one here under the age of 17.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all adults. There's no juveniles.
Were these 4 alleged victims foreigners? I
don't know the nationality of them. I do not. I have not even seen their photographs. And we want to keep it that way. We want to keep it to where their pictures are not out there, nor is their names. Our district attorney has that information, and they will work with them through the process of getting them the help that they need.
Are there any of the males actual prostitutes themselves, or were they all, or was it just the females that were actually?
Yeah, there were several. I think there was one male, the Figueroa in the middle. That is a guy, and he was prostituting himself.
But all the rest were.
The females were all arrested for prostitution. The males were arrested for prostitution-related offenses, soliciting undercover officers.
Soliciting.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they were involved in solicitation. Okay. Now, was there any pens? Because I thought in the press release.
Yeah, the five at the top were
Okay.
the four victims, human trafficking, five across are the five pimps we arrested.
Okay.
And I will say the guy on the end, let's see what his name is, Rhodes, he had a kid in the vehicle with him, a small aged kid, with this Kane guy. Those two were together. And we ended up arresting him for promotion, Rhodes for promotion of prostitution. The Kane individual we arrested for narcotics and endangering a child.
Where,
Where's the cane photo?
This guy here.
Okay.
where is that child now? Is that child in his
Well, we coordinated with Children's Protective Services whenever we work these operations. Usually we have a representative that we're in direct communication with because we do run across folks with kids. And they instructed us to take the kid into our custody, and we ended up releasing that kid to a family member at their direction.
How many businesses did you get complaints from?
Several, yeah.
And what was the nature of their?
Basically, people hanging out in the parking lot, females walking around, getting in vehicles with guys. 10 minutes later, they're back walking around. These folks in North Harris County, we encourage them to call us when they see suspicious activity such as this. We also have our website, constablepct4.com, that you can go and anonymously put tips in. And what our folks do is we vet that, get it out to our undercover guys, and our undercover folks go out and see if this is in fact going on. And once they determine it's going on, we set the operation up. And the normal process is we go get the girls off the street first. We put our undercovers in as soon as we arrest them. And of course, it's like a revolving door process. We feel that if we take the demand away by getting these gentlemen that's soliciting, that we will hopefully make a huge impact on keeping the females from coming out and, committing these crimes.
And so basically, how did this work? I mean, you just really had undercover officers posing as prostitutes, or how did that work? How did this?
Yeah, we have undercover female officers that pose as prostitutes.
That's essentially how this basically worked.
Yep.
And then did they get to know these other women that are prostitutes, or is that a different sting operation?
Yeah, I mean, they don't know us. We usually arrest them first. The females that are out walking the streets, we have undercover male officers that hit them and end up arresting them, taking them off the street. And as soon as we arrest them, we put our undercovers right where they were at, because the guys keep coming around because they know where they're at, and they say, oh, we got new folks out here, and then they hit on our girls, on our undercovers.
So what is having all of them off the street? What does that do for the community?
This here is in a 4-day, well, it's actually 2 week, but in a 4-day operation where we're literally out working this process is huge, because some of these folks were carrying guns, they're carrying illegal narcotics, they're out doing these acts right by daycares, right by schools, within feet of where our kids walk and play in playgrounds. And this type of activity brings other crimes to our area. So this will make a tremendous impact in the overall crime rate in North Harris County, getting these folks off the street.
How do you guys make the determination between someone who alleges that they're being forced into this versus someone who obviously you have other people on there who are being arrested for prostitution?
Right.
I guess what
Well, again, there's an extreme vetting process, certain questions that when we arrest them, we take them in and we ask these questions. And we work with our district attorney and say, this is what they're saying, this is the answers they're giving. And between our office and the district attorney's office, they come together and collaborate and say, this person appears to be being trafficked.
And so some of the, I guess, prostitutes in general, whether women and men, oftentimes you can imagine are doing it because they're low income, they need the money, etc. So they may not be, being forced against their will to do it, but their circumstances make it so that they obviously are not doing this because they want to. What kind of, I guess, where does your agency or any other agency kind of step in between their arrest and afterwards to try and, I guess, make it so that they don't,
Right.
I guess you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that I think 1 or 2 of these females we've arrested before for prostitution. Some of these females are out there intentionally, knowingly violating the law. And now again, on these folks that are being trafficked, we work very close with our district attorney's office and other social service agencies that once they're identified, they go through a process and get the help that they require and need. But we do that with our district attorney.
That middle row right there, is that a continuation of the pimps?
No. These here were, I forget what, y'all gonna, Cynthia, do we have the spreadsheet for all these?
Yes.
We got copies, we'll give you copies, but it'll tell you with these guys. This guy here was with this guy in the car with the kids.
Right.
And these other two, I think, were just arrested for prostitution. But again, in 4 days, it's a very productive investigation to take this many suspects off the street, and like I say, it will have a tremendous impact on the overall crime rate in those areas. And again, this isn't the first operation we've done; it won't be the last. So we're hoping that this will deter folks from getting out and creating the demand for these prostitutes, and it will send a message to the females that you don't come out in North Harris County and commit these crimes.
What were some of the types of narcotics that you found?
I don't know. They were first-degree felony. When you get your hand out, you'll see the possession of a controlled substance. On some of the cases, we file the highest case we can. In other words, if somebody was arrested for narcotics, we may not file the prostitution case, the lesser offense. We go for the highest offense, and again, that's per our DA, working with them. That way it puts them in a better position when it comes to prosecuting, and we want to take them off the street as long as we can.
And you mentioned some behaviors, like some of these women coming back like every 10 minutes or so. What are other behaviors that people can look out for if they're suspecting that there's like prostitution or crime happening in their neighborhood?
Say that again, I could barely hear you.
What other like behaviors would you like consider to stand out to
Right.
that would maybe indicate that there's some sort of crime happening?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, our citizens out here in Precinct 4 are our eyes and ears. They know their communities better than anyone. When they see folks standing around and they see things that don't look right, they report it and they call us. And we verify what they tell us, and then we work the operation. But anything suspicious, getting in a vehicle with a guy, leaving, coming back 30 minutes later, walking around, getting in a vehicle again, I mean, that's a pretty clear sign that there's something not right going on, and they report it. So, and we're glad they report it.
How about the child that was accompanied by these two men? Was the son of any one of them, or how old was he? Or she?
It was a 2-year-old child, and all I know is that the child was, per CPS, was given to one of the family members. And I can tell you the suspect here on the corner, Cooper, that was arrested for prostitution, she had her child with her in the car also. And yeah, that child was also taken into custody with her, and we ended up giving the child per CPS to a family member.
Is there any indication that this particular ring was being done in coordination with or under the purview of other organized crime, whether gangs or anything?
Yeah, don't know, and I can tell you the 4 human trafficking cases are ongoing. Some of these investigations are ongoing, and we'll see where the dots take us, so to speak. And but I can tell you from what I've been briefed on, I feel very, very good about our criminal cases against these 44 people. And again, it'll bring some solace to Precinct 4 just having them off the street.
So what would you tell to the men and women that goes out and look for sex, to pay for sex?
Yeah, I would tell them both to be very careful, because out here in Precinct 4, we wear many hats. And like I said, the one suspect's been arrested by us before, and she come back doing it again, and we got her again. Be careful, because you may be soliciting an undercover female officer or an undercover male officer. I'll tell you, our undercover folks, they don't look like police officers, and they play the role very well. And so don't come out here to Precinct 4 and think you can commit these crimes.
What's the punishment?
It ranges from 1 to 2 years in jail, because this is misdemeanor stuff. Now, the charges of the felonies, possession, the possession of firearm by a felon, those are felonies, so they could do 2 to 10 years in prison. And of course, that'll all be up to our court system on that.
Prostitution was considered a victimless crime, is it still?
I don't know that it's ever been considered a victimless crime. I know people have said that, but here in Texas, it's against the law, and that's what we're doing, just enforcing the law and taking these folks and the rest of the crime that comes with it off our streets.
Any of these individuals that you know of is undocumented?
I don't know. We don't ask. I mean, I can tell you my office does not ask. I think once they start the process in the jail, at some point they may be asked that, but we don't ask. And honestly, we don't care. I mean, if they violate the law, they violate the law, and we treat them just like we would anyone else.
Generally speaking, in this area, would you say is prostitution been more? Is it on the rise? Is it declining?
I don't think there's any definite answer to that question. I've seen it go up. I've seen it go down. We've done these operations before, and the numbers have been down. We get calls about possible prostitution, or undercovers go check it out. They say it's not prostitution. It's something else. So to gauge it, there's no way of gauging it. Just like crime. They say is crime up or down? Well, crime fluctuates. You can never stop all crime, but I'm going to tell you, and I've been doing this 32 years, we can do a very good job of controlling it. And out here in Precinct 4, we do that. We control crime out here. I mean, we know, the criminals know that out here in Precinct 4, if you commit a crime and we come out, we're going to do our best to get you. But as far as up or down, it varies. Around Christmas and the holidays, of course, all your burglaries go up because more people are at the malls and stuff like that. So the more people you get together, the more issues you're going to have. But there's no definitive answer to your question.
It might be the same answer that you just gave, but compared to other precincts, where?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can tell you that I meet with other constables very frequently, and we all have the same issues. We all work with each other. I mean, I have my guys and ladies working across in other precincts right now on operations such as this. And we all work together. We work with our partners at the Sheriff's Office. We work with our partners at HPD. And it is a collaborative effort to accomplish goals, and that's to get these folks committing crimes and bringing issues to our families.
Sir, Constable Rosen with Precinct 1 is very passionate about, human trafficking and all that. He's launched some time ago an initiative to really, did they help you out? I mean, you said you work with all of them.
Yeah, on this specific operation, Precinct 4 worked the whole thing ourselves because we had enough resources. There are at times that we do collaborate with other agencies and bring their folks in with ours and share and stuff like that. But I hope that answers your question.
One of the things that probably worry the neighbors is the fact that, these things kind of like are around businesses. For example, you mentioned that some of this sting operation was conducted, inside motels and so forth. We've seen so many of motels being involved. Do these businesses know what they're actually getting into? Why? Do they know who these clients are? Because I'm pretty sure they're regular.
Yeah. I really don't want to comment on that. I can tell you that our office is working a number of cases in a number of motel areas within Precinct 4 that we're working with our county attorney to basically shut the motels down, and because of all the criminal activities at these motels. And but we continue to work with our county attorney and our district attorney on those areas. As far as this specific operation, I don't want to say where we were at because I don't want to give away next operations. And, in law enforcement, something we learn is keep your cards close to your chest. I'm very, very transparent with the media because I want y'all to know, but there are some things that I just don't say. Just like our AR-15 rifles that we recently got. They asked how many we had total on the street. Well, I bought 40. And we've got them already in our cars with our troops. But as far as how many I have overall, it's more than I can shoot at one time. And but we're prepared out here at Precinct 4, and we're going to continue to be. Hope that answers your question.